brings me back to the type of place Wausau is and the type of culture that our citizens display every day that I was referring to earlier. You know, we are a community that cares about our neighbors. We are a community that wants to help each other. Our city leadership lately has been quite the opposite. You know, they do not extend a helping hand. They say, oh, I'm concerned about this issue, but then they don't follow up by building the coalitions to tackle the issue. Or, you know, building a grassroots effort to get something on the ballot as a referendum. You know, real leadership isn't just stating a position. It's then taking action and following up on it. And our city leadership needs to be the type of leadership that'll stop and help the folks with their flat tire. You know, the type that when they see the problem, they set about trying to solve it. And that's the type of culture I'm going to try and bring to City Hall.
But I do believe in trying to reach out and work well with everybody and include everybody to show them that love and that understanding and compassion and just being a good, decent human being. I see a lot of that in Wausau. It nerves me sometimes and it makes me very sad where you always hear the negative. And there's so many positive things out there. There's so many good people out there. And it's just upsetting that, you know, we always seem to dwell on the negativity of things like that. I do see a lot of good things as far as people reaching out and trying to help one another. Not just in Wausau, but across the country. There's far more good in the world than bad. And I wish people would accept that. It's not to say there isn't an issue, there is. But I would try everything I could, be it with the leadership at City Hall, but just basically citizens themselves, reaching out and trying to work with one another. And overall, I think most people do try to do that. And I would try to encourage that. That's something that a government can't really fix. That's something that's got to be done inside.
To really attract new business to our downtown, we need more traffic. We need more people downtown. My suspicion is we need to look in the direction of a venue that attracts people downtown, whether it's for concerts and entertainment, whether it's an ice arena, something that will be filled with people, certainly on the weekends and on the evening, that will then be downtown and looking to spend money.
And I'm not really wild about the idea as far as more shopping. I think we've got enough stores. There's some different things that we could try, but more of an entertainment value. A movie, anything like that that would attract people downtown and get more of that foot traffic. I just think that at this point, since we have committed to it, we have to make sure it works.
The reason our young people are leaving this town, the reason why many of the classmates I graduated with cannot return to Wausau to raise their family is because we simply don't have good paying jobs for them. In 2010, we had median incomes of roughly $41,300. In 2014, the most recently available statistics, we had median incomes of $40,000. Our incomes, average incomes are going down in this community. That is why people are leaving. Obviously, any large-scale construction project is going to have an impact on local jobs. And, you know, we don't have a great construction market right now. It's doing a little better than it was a couple years ago. But there are a lot of folks who used to work in those trades who, you know, are unemployed or underemployed. So, you know, these developments could be very beneficial for local job creation, but only if we're really paying attention to job creation as part of the overall plan. And I don't see anything in our current riverfront development that really focuses on jobs for Wausau residents. In fact, given the history of our city leadership's expenditures on projects like this, I would expect that they're going to hire contractors from outside of the area, probably down in Tennessee, to come on up and do the work and then go home and spend their money down there. You know, maybe some of these projects should be developed with more of an eye toward keeping this money in Wausau.
But I would also include that an inclusion, if you will, as far as the youth to be involved more, to get involved in different programs and different opportunities. to make them feel special and important like they are, because this is our future. And you know, when you hear about the kids and the things that are going on in their lives, you know, I don't think I'd want to be a kid today. I think it's a lot tougher. It's a lot more competitive. It's a lot more brutal in some ways. Social media, all the other different things, all this technology is wonderful to have, but it's also a detriment sometimes too. As far as what we could do here in Wausau, it would be more or less to try to include them more, if you will, as far as including them more in the community, and more of a feeling, if you will, of self-worth to get involved. I think that's something that we could try to do here at City Hall, to try to portray that to the youth, that, hey, you are a big part of this area, you count and you matter, and we want you here.
When it comes to enabling our youth to be more connected with what's going on, you know, they need parents at home to provide them guidance. And to get those parents at home enough of the time to provide them guidance, they need to be making enough money that they don't have to work 3 jobs and leave their kids to raise themselves. You know, the issues we have of children being disconnected and not involved are directly tied to our poor performance and issues of economics and household income. And we start moving the ball forward on raising incomes by providing the infrastructure that growth industries need. And I bet we'll see our children getting a lot more time with their parents, getting a lot more connected with their communities, and staying out of trouble.
I would agree in the sense that, you know, we would try to bring more jobs, better paying jobs, the manufacturing jobs, the IT jobs, the medical jobs, even food processing, you know, just different things that could bring money and better income to parents so that they could take a better job of taking care of their children, and to include them in on things. This is something that really needs to be done as a form of encouragement, if you will, from all of us at City Hall and the leadership. I think that's something that we should really try to look into.
And I also don't think that it is too optimistic to believe that we could provide better postgraduate education options in Wausau as well. You know, a generation or 2 back, our local leadership did not seize on the opportunity to have a UW 4-year institution here. And in fact, many of our local civic leaders discouraged a university in our town. Basic infrastructure you need to address drug and alcohol problems, and that's mental health treatment. And I'm proud to say that I was the candidate who brought up our lack of mental health treatment in the Wausau area as a local city issue. And I intend on working with our county leadership as they're refocusing or perhaps dissolving our relationship with the healthcare center and replacing it with something new. I'm going to be very involved in making sure that we get the increase in licensed professionals in this town that we need. Without enough talk therapists, without enough psychiatrists, we can't deal with our drug and addiction problems. It's a fool's errand to think you can lock these people up or just root them out and find them and send them off to prison and we're going to solve this problem. We need the professionals to treat addiction in order to stop drug addiction.
I also believe in personal responsibility, and that people need to help themselves. I would follow up and say that, you know, the city should be doing more if we could. A lot of it is the budget issue. The money in some ways just isn't there, but we could try to find ways to try to make it where we could help pay for some of these folks and get help for them, but certainly to show them more compassion.